All right, now I'd like to call to order the October meeting of the Montgomery County Legislature. And clerk, can we have a roll call of members?
Chairman Peck.
Present.
Legislator Pertel.
Here.
Legislator Kelly.
Present.
Legislator Sweet.
Here.
Legislator Diamond.
Present.
Legislator Headwell Jr.
Present.
Legislator Wilson.
Present.
Legislator Duchessis.
All right, will you please stand and salute the flag? And Ann Liccardi, would you please lead us in our salute to the flag this evening?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing as we honor those who have fallen since the last meeting. Robert Bobby Thakra of Amsterdam, New York. He was honorably discharged United States Air Force veteran, serving from 1948 to 1952. Subsequently joined the Air National Guard 109th Airlift Wing, Stratton Air Force Base, Scotia, New York, for 27 years. William Bill Oxett. Bill was of Amsterdam, honorably discharged a United States Army veteran of World War II who served in Okinawa. Bill retired from the City of Amsterdam Fire Department, Station Number 5, Firehouse on Division Street, where he worked the majority of his career. Edward R. Suits of Palatine Bridge, New York, a U.S. Army career person and served us in Vietnam. The Honorable Aloysius J. Wishy Kozlowski, 88, of the town of Amsterdam. Entered the U.S. Marine Corps, served during the Korean War in Korea from 51 to 54. Aloysius also served as town justice for the town of Amsterdam for over 13 years. Deline Butch Veter, 82, born in Fonda, New York, and upon graduation enlisted in the United States Army. John J. Toomey, Jr. of Canajoharie, served for 2 years in the U.S. Army and was a past councilman for the town of Canajoharie for 11 terms. Andy Aldi of Hegeman, New York. Andy was employed for many years as highway supervisor for Montgomery County Highway Department in Fonda. Bonnie Casca of Palatine, I believe, most recently worked for Montgomery County Department of Social Services. Kelsey Marie Waffle of Fonda, New York, the first cousin of Jess Sear from the county clerk's office, and Steph Waffle of DSS. And last, Edward Ed M. Bishop of Fonda, New York. Ed was elected Town of Mohawk Supervisor and remained in that position until his passing, elected in 2013. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. Okay, now we've reached the presentation part of the evening, and I would like to call William Francisco up to the front of the room, and those who are with him, for the Caregiver of the Year Award. Spread out a little bit. Okay. Okay. Whereas each year, millions of dedicated Americans with caring hearts take up the selfless and unheralded work of delivering care to seniors or people, family members, or otherwise with disabilities or illnesses, and the role they play in our healthcare system is one we should recognize and celebrate. And whereas William Francisco became the primary caregiver for his mother, Bertha Beth Francisco, in November 2021, shortly after his father passed away. And whereas his parents were living in Florida, and his mother was struggling with dementia and could not live on her own after her husband's passing, so William brought her from Florida and moved her into his house. And whereas due to his mother needing constant care, William took a leave of absence from his job to become a full-time caregiver, and after being unable to afford or even find a home health aide, William called the Office for the Aging and was enrolled in the Caregiver Respite Program, and an aide was found. And whereas this assistance allowed him to return to work full-time and continue providing for his family, as he has children of his own in addition to caring for his mother. And whereas William is very grateful for the program, and feels he would have been forced to place his mother if he did not receive respite from his caregiving responsibilities. Now therefore, be it resolved, County Executive Matthew L. Ossenfort, Legislative Chairman Michael J. Pepp, on behalf of the Montgomery County Legislature, hereby proclaim Tuesday, October 25th, 2022, as an official date in Montgomery County to honor, thank, and recognize William Francisco as the 2022 Caregiver of the Year.
And can I just say that this man is so modest, and he does such a great job caring for his mother. When I called him and told him about the Caregiver of the Year award, he was ecstatic. He was so happy because he thought it was going to his home health care aide. When I told him it was for him, he was shocked. He was really speechless. He's very humble. He's made a lot of sacrifices, and he's really the embodiment of what a caregiver should be. So.
Yes. Yes.
I couldn't think of a better family to do this. Beth herself was a caregiver. She was the executive secretary for Liberty RC when I was on the board. And she was one of the most caring, optimistic, helping person that there ever was. And so, Bert, thank you for what you've done. And Bill, thank you for taking care of your mother in such a good way.
Thank you, guys. More than once.
Thank you.
Morgan, can you take one of my phone too?
And also send this to you too.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
No problem.
She wants a picture. Okay. No, that's quite all right.
Ready?
Good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's funny because she had asked if she was going to go here, and I said, I don't know. I said, Barbara told me to be on the board, but I don't know if it's still. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now I'd like to call Ann McCarty up, and anybody she'd like to bring up with her from her family. And I'd also like the rest of the legislature to come up here for this presentation. Because Ann's very important to us, as is every county employee, but there's a special place in our heart for Ann because she has worked for the supervisors and for the legislature for the past since 97, right? Yes. 25 years.
County for 29. Sure.
Come on, Rochelle. We'll get you.
I never had a problem.
Whereas Ann McCarty has offered nearly 3 decades of dedicated service to Montgomery County, and with her conscientious nature and dependability, she has played an essential role in serving the community and its residents. And whereas Ann recently retired from her position as Principal Account Clerk Typist after celebrating her 29th year with Montgomery County on September 14, 2022, and held many positions throughout her career, which began in 1993 when she was hired as a part-time account clerk typist in the Veterans Service Agency and also a part-time receptionist for the Board of Supervisors in 1995. And whereas Ann held both positions until 1997 when she moved to the auditing department and took the role of audit clerk. And whereas in 2001 she became the senior account clerk typist. And then in 2006 she began her position as principal account clerk typist, the role she would hold up until her retirement on October 14th, 2022. Whereas Ann was an asset and valuable resource to Montgomery County and will be greatly missed by all. But retirement is a milestone that signifies the peak of a rewarding career and the beginning of a new chapter in life, one we hope is even more rewarding. Now, therefore, be it resolved, County Executive Matthew L. Ossenfort and Legislative Chairman Michael J. Pepp, and on behalf of the entire Montgomery County Legislature, we hereby proclaim October 25th, 2022 as an official date in Montgomery County to most gratefully recognize, show appreciate to, and wholeheartedly thank Ann McCarty for nearly 30 years of dedicated service to Montgomery County and its residents.
So, Ann, I told you no more surprises, but I lied.
I know.
So, on behalf of the legislature, here's this and another little token of our appreciation.
Well, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Is there anything
Everybody.
would you like to say anything, Ann? Well, that's something. Okay.
Can everyone get in a little bit closer?
Stand
Act
here
like
while
you
we
like
cut
the
it.
chair. Okay,
Suck it in.
one more. Ready, 1, 2. Thank you.
Dan, congratulations, and thank you for your years of service and dedication. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
We should buy a bunch of toilet paper. For sure. I should buy a bunch of toilet paper.
Yeah, you know, that's an interesting memory. For the difference,
You just don't mix up the papers.
You may go home now.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll move to the public comment portion of our meeting. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to come to the rail and make a public comment? Yes, sir. And please come to the rail and state your name and your reason for wanting to speak.
My name is Joe Stone, and I've got some notes here, so I'm just going to kind of refer to those. But I'm a resident of Montgomery County. I live in the town of Florida. I own a couple of businesses in the town of Florida, and we serve a lot of people in the county, but also outside the county. We employ a number of county residents. I'm a father, husband, a minister in the county, and like many citizens, I'm concerned about the direction that we're going as a nation, a state, and even as a county. I've learned so much of this, unfortunately, is tied to what's happening in our elections. Because those who take office can either create laws to do harm or to do good. And I've seen much harm done in the past couple of years to individuals and unfortunately also to businesses in our county. A number of residents and citizens are concerned about what's happening in our elections. On our website, we cite the New York State Voters' Bill of Rights, and one of those rights in Montgomery County and in the state is to have your vote count. And it specifically says, have your vote accurately cast on a voting system that is in working condition that will allow votes to be accurately cast. Let me share with you a story from last week. And this is similar to other stories, but in particular, we were hosting a guest and we were having dinner at the Recovery Grill. And he received a call from his wife, who's originally from Torrance County, New Mexico, which is a county not unlike our county, about 20,000 residents, a little smaller. And the news that was being reported was this. They've been very involved in their elections and their election systems and process. And this is what it said. Torrance County, New Mexico recently held an audit of their primary election and the results were presented today, showing a 25% difference between machine and hand count results. The problem was with Dominion tabulators, which consistently undercounted Republican votes. This is the same vendor that provides electronic voting systems that we use here in Montgomery County. We have concerns with our machines. Incidentally, this is not a partisan issue, this is a voter's right issue because you can flip votes potentially for Republican or Democrat. I've sent 4 requests to the Board of Elections over the past several months, most importantly to secure a voter anonymous audit report called a ballot by ballot CDR or cast vote record with the sole purpose of evaluating whether our votes are being accurately cast. These CDR reports have been provided by over 1,000 other counties across the U.S. to concerned citizens, and anomalies have been identified with the voting systems. As concerned citizens and voters, we would like to know why in New York and in this county these reports are being refused to be provided. In all fairness, this report was attempted to be run by the Board of Elections leadership in Montgomery County, only to find out that the county does not possess the administrative password to run our own county election CVR audit report. And it is of grave concern that in Montgomery County, we can't perform our own electronic audit of these machines that continue to show strong possibilities that they can be used to produce inaccurate results. Apparently, this administrative access is being controlled perhaps by the state, perhaps by the vendor, I don't know. But that does not make us comfortable as citizens here in Montgomery County, as we should be able to audit and verify our own election results. So the bottom line is this: we as citizens want to be assured that our voting rights are being protected by the county and that there are county plans in place to do so. We don't trust these machines. We will continue to pursue honesty in our voting and election systems to protect every resident's vote until this is resolved for all of the citizens of Montgomery County. Within the flow process, we've been through that. At this point, there's been a denial of this request for a cast vote record report. Our other option is to file litigation to get that report. My hope is that wouldn't be necessary, that we could just partner in this to just make sure that our process is safe and secure. So, and it's really because we care about every single vote, and regardless of which side of the table that you're on, which side of the aisle you're on, the most important thing is that each one of us have our will accomplished and what we intended when we cast that ballot, that it's recorded, reported, tabulated, and it results in what we intended. Thank you for your time, and I would be welcome dialogue. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stone. Typically, public comment is for you to comment and us not to retort. So thank you for your time and your comments. All right, clerk, are there any communications?
Another public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Please step to the rail.
Thanks. Steve Hellman, Holdenville. I'm glad to see the Montgomery County Economic Development Planning Office is being put forward as our tourism promotion agency tonight. I've had the pleasure of seeing this team in action on several occasions now, working with them on the Tri-County Anniversary event and as a sponsor of the Blues of Irvine Disc Golf Tournament in Charleston this past weekend. They are invested in promoting our county and are impressed by the energy and dedication they bring to this role. I hope you all support this resolution. I'd also like to repeat my call to assign a role for the oversight of state actions outside of the statutory departments of the county. I made this originally in regards to Frontier bankruptcy proceedings. I have received responses from both PSC and Frontier as an update. I've asked for many statistics from Frontier regarding service quality, and they remain outstanding. However, during the discussion, when I noted that many of Frontier's customers in the district, for them, the landline is a lifeline because it's really their only choice. I was informed that there's a program to expedite repairs to customers who have serious medical conditions. This form is available as a public information at Frontier's website, or it can be sent by customer service reps, or you can contact me and I can give you the link, or I can print out a form. And lastly, I'd like to return to the topic of industrial scale or solar. I think it's time that the legislature go on record as opposing Section 94C and the insidious Tier 1 awards that have made our county the bullseye in the state's attempts to pave the countryside with solar panels. I have gone to Albany and commented with others to the Climate Action Committee. I've addressed the New York State Assembly regarding these attempts. District residents have also reached out to elected officials at all levels of government. I think all of you have gotten at least one letter from our group as well. Since I first arrived, the heat map of large-scale Tier 1 projects direct from the state's data portal, things have gotten worse. Nearly 1 gigawatt of large-scale solar electricity generation is now targeted for Montgomery County by NYSERDA. This is enough energy to power 250,000 homes, approximately 5 homes for every man, woman, child in the county. NYSERDA is funded in part by fees that we each pay every month in our electric bills. Our county is targeted because land is comparatively cheap, because we are not a rich suburb with oodles of cash to help us fight these things, and because our municipalities are similarly constrained with limited resources to fight out-of-state developers with deep pockets, even out-of-country developers. One to the west of here, not in this county, is actually a French developer. There are no permanent quality jobs that come with these facilities. There's little value to our county and to our residents at all. The energy will be going elsewhere. We need to tell the state again and again, with as many voices as possible, it's time to let them know that paving forest and farmland is poor land use and unwelcome at this exploitative level in Montgomery County. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hellman. All right, clerk, I think I heard you say there are no communications.
Correct.
All right, I'd like to accept a motion from the floor for the approval of the last, yeah. Legislator Hadwell, second. Legislator Diamond. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to accept the motion from the floor for the budgetary transfers. Legislator Kelly? Anybody else? Legislator Diamond? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes.
And a motion for the acceptance of the procurement record. Legislator Kelly? Legislator Wilson? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes.
Is there any old business anybody would like to discuss? Hearing none, we will move to this evening's slate of resolutions. Our first resolution, number 223, authorizing county executive to sign amended contract with T&B Engineering and Landscape Architecture, PC, Montgomery County Multi-Jurisdictional Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan Update. From the Office of Economic Development, sponsors were legislators Kelly and Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes.
Resolution 224, resolution designating tourism promotion agency from the county legislature. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Kelly. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes.
Resolution number 225, resolution authorizing application for I Love New York Tourism Promotion Matching Grant Funds from Economic Development and Planning Tourism. Sponsors were legislators Wilson and Kelly. I'd like to sponsor an amendment to this resolution where you see the blank spaces in the resolve clause. The first blank space would be in an amount up to $120,000, projected local match of up to $60,000 for the county's 2023 tourism and promotion programs. Do I have a second? Okay, Legislator Diamond. Any discussion on that? All right, hearing none, all in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes.
And in favor of the resolution as amended. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes.
Resolution 226, resolution authorizing the county executive to sign contracts for home run and turnabout prevention programs from social services. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes.
Resolution number 227, resolution to accept funds for New York State Healthcare Workers Bonus Program. Sponsors were legislators Pertel and Sweet. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes.
Resolution number 228, resolution authorizing the county executive to sign contract agreement with LexisNexis for the Public Defender's Office. Sponsors were legislators Kelly and Pertel. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes.
Resolution number 229, resolution authorizing the county executive to sign renewal agreement with Humana from the Office of Personnel. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes.
Resolution number 230, resolution appointing Democrat election commissioner from the Board of Elections. Sponsors were legislators Pertel and Kelly. Discussion.
Chairman,
Legislator Hedwell?
is there a conflict with him being the election commissioner and also being the chairman of the Democratic Committee?
Counselor?
No, this is something I've looked into, and it's a common practice in a lot of counties.
Any further discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Abstentions? Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Resolution number 231, resolution appointing Montgomery County Director for Capital District Regional Off-Track Betting Corporation from the legislature. Sponsors were legislators Pertel and Pep. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes.
Resolution number 232, resolution authorizing use of $500,000 of American Rescue Plan funds to contract with UTC. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Pertel. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Resolution 233, granting $100,000 of American Rescue Plan funds to the Office for the Aging for a new roof. Sponsors were legislators Kelly and Pertel. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Resolution 234, authorizing expenditure of bed tax funds to promote tourism in Montgomery County. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Resolution 235, amending Resolution 117 of 2022 for American Rescue funds to the Horace J. Inman Senior Center for a new boiler. Sponsors were legislators Kelly and Pertel. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Resolution 236, resolution granting $1,500,000 of American Rescue Plan funds to the Montgomery County Agricultural Society. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Resolution 237, authorizing the extension of the last date of redemption for delinquent taxes. Sponsors were legislators Kelly and Headwell Jr. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Resolution 238, our final resolution approving abstract of audited claims. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Kelly. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass. Abstain.
Okay. Now under other, we will conduct our straw votes on proposed budget amendments to the budget as presented by the county executive and the treasurer. We can go through these line by line, so we might as well start that way, unless you want to.
I just would like to start by saying that if we go back to the budgets, the appropriations in 2020 was $92 million. The appropriations in this budget for 2023 is $112 million. And yes, I understand revenue's up, sales tax, sales tax is gone up, but spending looks, if you look at these numbers, spending is out of control. We owe $34 million in bonds. We should be getting to the point where if we need work, we have a project on Commons Road that needs a new bridge. It'd be really nice if we had $1 million in the budget that we could just take out instead of bonding for it. But when we have these bigger projects, the only way we can get these projects done is by bonding. And all we're doing is making more debt. So part of what a lot of these things that I brought up tonight are looking at cutting some things that I think that might be wants instead of needs. And I think we need to take a real serious look at that and make a decision. Do we really need to put the money there, or could we not spend that money and try to work toward a balanced budget where we aren't taking money from the fund balance or extra sales tax to balance what we're doing? So that's where the start is of this.
Legislator Headwell, you have several entries here. Did you want what you just said to represent your stance on all of them, or do you want to speak about each of them as we go through them?
The ones that deal with personnel deals with a lot of the bargaining agreement. There is a non-bargaining agreement that I think needs to be followed. Our people that are in the bargaining units have an agreement. They get their steps, they get their increments, they get all the stuff. Same with non-bargaining. I just don't think it's right when people determine that, oh, this individual needs this much more money, or that person needs more money. So that's dealing with a lot of those. And I think if we have agreements out there, the agreements need to be followed. And if they're supervisors believe that they deserve more money. I think there's a process that should be followed and gone through, not just put in the budget, hoping that we as legislators don't see it and it gets passed and moves forward.
Okay. Thank you, Legislator Hedwell. Well, I'll start going down, I guess it's probably the safest way to make sure everyone gets touched here. All right, our First Amendment, you all see it there. I'm not going to name them by name. You have them all in front of you. Page 1, account A 014-101-00-111-0817. Bless you. Let's do our straw votes on these one by one. Clerk? Bless you.
Do you want me to start
However,
with that? Last year I just did it.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's just go in numeric order.
Okay. So this would be a vote to keep the amendment as is, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Legislator Kelly?
No.
Legislator Sweet?
No.
Legislator Diamond?
I'm confused. So it's not what's portrayed here, it's the opposite? So we're decreasing that 4,000?
The amendment would be to decrease it.
You're voting on the $4,000 removal from the budget.
Okay. No.
Legislator Hedwell?
yes.
Legislator Wilson?
No.
Chairman Peck?
No.
Legislator Patel?
No.
Okay, so the nays are 6, plus Duke would be a nay.
And 8 is an A too.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
This just needs majority, right? We don't need a super majority.
So that one is taken out.
Okay. All right, our Second Amendment. We all have it in front of us. I'm not going to announce every one of them, unless people want me to.
That's fine.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, Legislator Kelly?
No.
Legislator Sweet?
Is this out of the executive budget?
Yep.
Just to make you guys aware, we both, the executive and legislature, had to put more money in this past year, so.
Pass me for a second.
Legislator Diamond?
No.
Legislator Hedwell?
Yes.
Legislator Wilson?
Yes.
Chairman Peck?
No.
Legislator Patel?
No.
Legislator Sweet?
As I've said in the past, I wish we had more time to go through this. I can't get this piece of paper tonight, go back through the actuals and see if it's even a legitimate request. I'll say no at this point.
Chair.
Legislator Patel.
For the benefit of the people in the audience, can we name the description? I think it's
Okay, sure.
It leaves everybody out.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
That was for an adjustment to legal notices, a $1,000 adjustment, reducing it from $2,000 to $1,000 in the executive's budget. The executive, the department of the executive. All right. Somebody's going to have to help me with the departments here,
Yeah, I was just gonna open that up.
just to make this flow.
Emergency management,
Emergency management.
Okay.
page 2.
Oh, I guess I can do that.
Thanks for pointing
All right,
that
from
out.
the Office of Emergency Management, this is an amendment, proposed amendment to ambulance service coordinator, obviously one of the employment positions that Legislator Hedwell was referring to. It's being changed, proposed change.
It's new service.
I'm
It's a new
sorry,
position.
a new position. But I mean, when you discussed, a lot of them were employee related. This appears to be an employee related one. There's $30,000 in the budget for it. The proposal is to take it out, the entire $30,000, as proposed by Legislator Hepler.
Legislator Kelly.
No.
Legislator Sweet.
I don't know how we can make decisions on these things tonight. To be totally honest with you. You would need to discuss this with the department head. I mean, I can't just say no, not knowing what the projected future is. Are we going to have an ambulance service in the county? Is that what this is for? I can't just say, I just can't say no.
Okay.
Without talking to the department head. I mean, I totally agree with Legislator Hedlund on the out of control spending. If you go back to between the year 2020 to 2021, we had a 0.003 increase. The following year, we had a 6% increase. This year, we have a 7.25% increase. So it went from $440,000 increase to a 6.7 million increase to this year a $9.2 million increase. And like Legislator Hedwell said, revenues are up, but when those revenues that are funding these positions or programs go away, what happens to this budget then? Where do we get the money from? So I agree, I think we do need to trim, but to do it in this fashion seems a little radical to me.
Chair.
Legislator Patel?
And we can also add it back in if the appropriate, when it becomes to fruition, it comes to fruition. I don't think we hired anybody yet, do we?
No. To my knowledge, no.
I think our emergency management people do an awful good job there, and I would like to see what they can offer to us before we just go off and hire somebody else. I mean, again, $30,000, it makes a difference. I'm looking down the road with fuel prices, everything else. We're going to have people in this community that can't pay their taxes this year. Foreclosures are going to be huge. We need to really start looking at this budget and saying, what are we doing for the taxpayers so that this doesn't happen?
Well, keep in mind, let's review what we're looking at before, that type of statement is projected. Right now, the proposed tax increase year over year in this budget is $304,000 over last year's tax handle. So,
Spending has gone up $20 million in 4 years. If you look at your home budget, just think about your home budget. If your home budget went up, spending went up $20,000 in 1 year or over 4 years. It's way too much. We wouldn't be able to handle it. Again, when all this money goes away, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, we could be in some serious. We have to look right now, but we also have to look in the future. And the future could be hard down the road with the way this is going.
no, but I just mean, talk about, making alarming statements like that, keep in mind, 8 of 11, as proposed by the executive and the treasurer, 8 of 11 municipalities are going to get a tax decrease. The only ones who are going to get a tax increase are those whose equalization ratios dropped because the values of their properties increased. And that would be Amsterdam, that's as proposed, Root, and Charleston. So, the public needs to know that too, that even as proposed, and I'm just putting these facts on the table, I'm not saying it in support of either direction. When we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, we all seemed intent on wiping out the proposed $304,000 proposed year-over-year increase, and then we're looking to make potentially other moves in that regard. So I just want, to frame the situation in that regard. You're right about how much we're spending. We're spending more money in those volumes that you spoke of between 20 and 22. I understand that completely. But I just wanted to present other perspective, you know, to that particular side of things. Now this, and I'm not defending this line item at all myself, but I do believe that this is designed for, and it would help if Matt would have been here to defend or not defend these things, but I think it was an eye towards the future. But I guess the comment made by Legislator Pertel holds true here. It's not something, I guess, we have to add immediately, and if it's needed, when the time comes, we can look to pull that out. Legislator Kelly.
I remember a few months ago, it was a big discussion about response times in
Yes.
ambulances. And the department may not have requested it, but the executive put it in his executive budget because he must be planning for the future and realizing.
I believe that's the nature of it, yes. I believe that's the nature of it. Legislator Pertel.
I think what's awkward about this is the mechanics of this process. As Legislator Sweet said, you know, we're making decisions for the next year without the knowledge of exactly what these are. It's, you know, we received this today, right?
That's correct.
So we didn't have the option of doing any homework or making any phone calls. So my question is, you know, how do we do a workaround on this where we can place something to the side, and maybe first of all we place a bunch of stuff to the side to the end of this, and then we can ferret out the rest of it, or give us some more time to make this decision. So I mean, we did have the discussion about ambulance service. You know, I remember having a conversation with the county executive about the need for something, but I understand Legislator Headwell's position. We do these things, and we do have to be careful because we're flush now, but who knows? At some point, we are going to have increase in taxes. But again, back to mechanics, what mechanics can we put in place to set this aside? Or do we just accept that if we vote it down? We vote it down on the premise that we need more information and can be put back into the budget with the resolution.
Well, the clerk has just pushed me a little note here. I mean, we could put this off till next Tuesday if we want to do it. We can still do the public hearing next Tuesday and budget workshop after, then push the adoption until after the 1st, but before the 10th.
So those dates are all dictated by the charter.
Sure.
If we want time to ingest this and you know, take a look at it, and that's fine. You know, it appears everybody's not comfortable doing it without the proper amount of research, and you know, in the 6 years I've done this, these are the most, you know, this exercise wasn't going to be this arduous because there wasn't 36 entries to look at. There was only 4 or 5 or 5, you know, maybe a half a page or a page of them or whatever. So under the circumstances where we have so many potential adjustments, let's do that. You know, I mean, if everybody, nobody wants to force anything down anybody's throat here, you know?
So we could do a public hearing next Tuesday, it's already advertised, and then follow that up with a budget and finance workshop to go through all of that.
Go over this and give us
But then
all.
you guys would have to decide on when you want the meeting to be, and it has to be before the 10th.
And our report has been submitted.
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody want to do it that way?
I'd like more time to digest what's there. I think that it's going to come up again when we're discussing sales tax and fund balance.
And we can make sure that the executive's here to fill in the blanks on some of these, you know.
Can we just have a special meeting after the public hearing to go through this and pass the budget if we feel intent?
I mean, you could do it, Megan, they just do a budget and finance. Committee?
Yeah, as long as it's what's called.
Can we vote on it next week after we go through these things? Or do we have to wait to give it back to the treasurer and have them come back with a final
Well,
product?
no, you would want to set up a special meeting after that. You don't want to do it all
Before the time.
Okay, yeah.
before the time.
Right.
Okay.
I would like it.
Yeah, all right, let's do that. I mean, let's make sure everybody's comfortable.
So what mechanics are we gonna use to go through these tonight? And
We're not.
Says we're not gonna go through.
No, we're gonna
discussion?
give you all, everybody a week to look at them and go back between all the printouts we wanna go through to see whether it's warranted or not. You know, as Legislator Sweet, was proposing, and then we'll, you know, hopefully we can rip through them though next week when we've had a week to look at them, you know.
So why don't we make it lifting easier next week, and let's rip through some of these today, and if we have any discussion on them, we remove them off of the,
We could do that too.
and that way we get rid of them,
We could do that too.
and in half an hour, we can get through everything, and then next week, we
All
can
right.
work on things that we're.
We can do that too.
And then after we've worked on it, will there be a meeting following that committee to pass the budget?
I don't know.
We'd have to
There would be
schedule,
enough time to put the resolution together and,
we'd have to schedule another evening to come here.
yeah, it can't be that.
All right, does everybody want to go through some of these things? You know, I mean, the first two, does anybody want to reverse their decision on the first two because of what we just talked about, or are we going to count those as out?
I don't have any problem keeping them the same.
I'm keeping them what?
The same, the way that we voted.
We voted. All right, well, so then the ambulance service, let's suspend. We'll get back to sales tax at the end. Next line item.
Is
What?
page 9, it's personnel.
Personnel, legal notices.
Development.
Well, no, I want to frame it as Legislator Patel requested. The proposal was 11,000. It was changed to proposed change down to 8,000. It'd be a $3,000 savings. And that is in the county, is it 9?
Personnel.
Oh.
It's page 9.
Oh, page 9, okay, yeah, okay. All right, let's go.
Okay.
No.
Legislator Kelly? Legislator Sweet? Is this one that you don't want to?
We're doing it again. We're back into that.
Well, your buddy is the one who wanted to do it this way. So,
But if you have a problem, let's just say, oh,
yeah.
Brian, do you have a problem with any, with?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to digest anything, so I don't know if 3,000 deduction is gonna,
Okay, so
if it's.
All right,
I don't
leave
know.
it.
I would suggest that we just come back next.
Yeah, I think that there's not gonna be a degree of comfortability.
I do have one question before we adjourn. So we just did the 60,000 county matching for tourism.
Yes.
Do we have to increase the budget line item for that?
Sean?
Is it part of the bed tax and the tourism?
What's that?
It is paid out of the bed tax and the county contribution to tourism. In the past, we've always requested the maximum, but we've never budgeted the maximum.
You requested the maximum, we're not sure.
Yeah, we requested.
And in the past, the same previous TPA.
So if they spend over the 30 or whatever's budgeted, we can pull from bed tax and do an amendment. It won't affect the fund balance. Okay.
So,
All right, so we're all okay with you handling it that way? Yep. Okay. Motion to adjourn. Legislator Kelly, Legislator Wilson. Meeting is adjourned at 6:50. Thank you.